Hey everyone, it is Dani and welcome to this update video on what is happening across the Caribbean. And so, of course, a cold front is going to be entering the northwestern part of the basin and will be resulting in some inclement weather for some areas. And so we'll be taking a look at all that is happening. And so before I go into details, please do subscribe if you haven't done so already and tap the notification bell so that you never miss an important update. And to show your support for the channel, you can leave a like on this video. Alright, and so let's go ahead and get on with it. And firstly, we're taking a look here at the current satellite imagery, and we see that there isn't anything much going on across the region right now. Maybe just some passing clouds with maybe a pop-up shower or so at the most, but nothing very significant is happening right now. But as we take a look in the lower part of the Gulf of Mexico, we can see all that convection, all that shower and thunderstorm activity that is just near Cuba, and that is in association with the front that is making its way down from the area. And so we're going to be taking a look at what is expected in terms of all that moisture, in terms of the temperature, as well as all that rainfall that is expected. So first up, we're looking at this map here. Of course, this is a water vapor map, and we already see these yellows and oranges. That is indicating dry air, and so that is the reason things are pretty quiet right now across the Caribbean. No major convection spots or anything, so there is nothing of great significance, as I said earlier, happening in the Caribbean at this time. However, as that front is going to be entering the region, it is going to be resulting in some unstable weather for some parts of the northwestern Caribbean. So let's go ahead and now take a look at what is expected by two models here. We'll be looking at the GFS and the Euro. And so, of course, this is a map showing humidity, and where we see the teals, they indicate moisture. Meanwhile, the browns indicate dry air. So, of course, where we have moisture, that is where we would typically find all that unstable weather taking place. And so let's see what the GFS is expecting. So as we're going to be heading into the Christmas Day, going into Boxing Day and Tuesday, we see that we're going to have all of that moisture lingering in the Caribbean. But of course, the front is going to be weakened because it is going to become stationary once it enters the northwestern Caribbean, and will gradually weaken and dissipate. And so as for the Euro, similar story here. So Euro is expecting that we're going to have all this moisture in the northwestern region as we're going to head to Monday, go to Tuesday, and we see that gradual dissipation of all of it. And so in terms of the rainfall now, so there is going to be an increase in rainfall for parts of the northwestern Caribbean. So let's get on with these different areas that are likely to experience that increase in precipitation. First up, we have the Euro, and this is between now and next Wednesday, so within the next 5 days time here. And first things first, where we have the greens going to the blues and the shades of purple, that is increasing rainfall expected in inches. So there's that key on the right side of your screen with the different colors, and those colors showing a certain amount of rainfall. So we see that throughout the Caribbean, the most rainfall is expected in the vicinity of Cuba, as well as the Yucatan and Belize, even down to parts of Honduras and Guatemala, as a result of that cold front that's going to be lingering as a stationary front in the region while we progress into the early part of the new week. So maybe some areas seeing up to 6 inches of rainfall in total. Remember, this is between now and then. It's a total accumulated precipitation, so not what is all expected at once, but overall we can see that an increase in all of that rainfall activity is expected. And as we saw on the relative humidity map earlier, we were seeing where within the same region there would be a lot of moisture. So this is what follows. Where we have a lot of moisture, there's more of a probability for us to see a lot of rainfall taking place. So for the rest of the Caribbean, though things aren't really major, we see increased rainfall expected along the coast of Central America all the way down to parts of Panama. But for the rest of the region, we're seeing that things are pretty much normal, nothing major happening, maybe just a pop-up shower here and there for some areas, but that dry air is going to be dominant for the most part. Moving on to the GFS model here, we're seeing that GFS is showing that there is going to be some higher totals just near the Yucatan Peninsula. So we're seeing maybe 9, close to 10 inches of rainfall expected in total between now and next Wednesday. So of course the GFS is in agreement with the Euro that, hey, the Northwest Caribbean is going to be experiencing increased rainfall as a result of that front. And we also see that the model is expecting some increased rainfall in parts of Guyana, also Venezuela, and Trinidad and Tobago. So interesting here, a bit of a contrast. The Euro keeps all that increase in precipitation a bit more offshore of Trinidad and Tobago, but here we have the GFS showing increased rainfall within this time frame for Trinidad. And so let's see what's eventually going to be happening. But once there is a front that's going to be making its way down, a cold front, usually what follows behind is a lot of cool, dry air. And so let's go ahead and take a look at this temperature anomaly map here. So there's the Caribbean. This isn't how the typical maps that I use look, but nevertheless, let's get on with it. So of course, where we have the cooler colors, the blues and those purple shades, that is when we have cooler than normal temperatures. So as we're going to be progressing into Friday, Saturday, going to Sunday, Christmas Day, we see those cooler than normal temperatures really lingering just in the vicinity of Cuba and parts of northern Central America, mainly the Yucatan as well as Belize. So there is going to be that decrease in temperature for you guys there. So you can expect temperatures as low as 19 degrees Celsius or so in the nighttime for some areas. And of course, where areas are more elevated, the temperature is going to be lower because naturally temperature decreases with altitude. Now, if we're talking about a cold front making its way towards the area, of course, where we have that higher terrain is going to be experiencing cooler temperatures than normal flat areas. And so, guys, of course, other parts of the Caribbean aren't likely to experience much in terms of this cold front, such as most of Cuba, Jamaica, Hispaniola. There isn't anything too major that is going to be anticipated. But of course, there is that chance of rainfall as we're going to be progressing into Christmas Day and Boxing Day for some areas such as Jamaica, because of course all that moisture is going to be nearby, so that is going to result in maybe just a slight increase in that chance of precipitation. So this is just the start of it because winter officially began just a few days ago, and so we have all the way until March until we're out of the winter season and into the spring. So of course, guys, I'm going to be keeping you updated once it is necessary on all that is happening across the tropics. And so there is a lot more to come in terms of these cold fronts because as we're going to be heading into next month, especially for the Northwestern Caribbean, yes, especially for the Northwestern Caribbean, other areas such as Jamaica, January is usually the coldest month of the year. So we can anticipate a lot more of these fronts as they're going to be making their way down from the U.S. and in association with the major winter storms that sweep across parts of these states. And so, of course, I'll be keeping you guys updated, as I said, and that is really it for now. So if you have any questions, you can leave them down in the comments, and you can also share your thoughts there. And of course, remember to always be weatherwise.